It's good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We begin this morning with the ongoing legal challenges involving former President Trump.
He has been indicted once again over his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election, which led to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Yesterday, a federal grand jury returned a superseding indictment on the same 4 counts that Mr. Trump originally faced in this case. His legal team is expected to seek dismissal of the indictment.
This comes following the Supreme Court's ruling last month on presidential immunity, which bars the government from using certain official acts the former president took in its prosecution. Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. NBC News senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett has the details.
The Justice Department trying to breathe new life into the criminal case against former President Trump for trying to reverse the last election as he runs for re-election. The GOP nominee now facing a superseding indictment in Washington, D.C., with the same core charges but stripped away of some of the alleged acts the Supreme Court has said are off limits and immune from prosecution. Prosecutors had accused Mr. Trump of a sweeping plot to stay in office, leaning on his DOJ, VP, and state officials to help him overturn the election results, all culminating in the violent attack on the Capitol on January 6th.
My office will seek a speedy trial so that our evidence can be tested in court.
But the case was marred in appeals and delays, the Supreme Court's conservative majority dealing the real blow in July, finding Mr. Trump cannot be prosecuted for any official acts as president, sending the case back to the lower court to parse out what he can be prosecuted for, if anything.
You're not going to do anything if you don't have immunity, because otherwise you're going to be prosecuted after you leave office.
The former president pled not guilty to all charges. A source familiar with his legal strategy tells NBC News he will do the same for this revised indictment, as his defense believes it includes the same fatal flaws, including Mr. Trump's pressure on his former VP, his new running mate pouncing on that.
I think it's clearly an effort to try to do more election interference from Jack Smith. He should be ashamed of himself, and it's one of the reasons why we have to win, because he should not be anywhere near power.
Our thanks to Laura Jarrett for that report. Now, for more, let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Savelis on this. Danny, good morning. Let's get right to it. Remind us exactly how we got to this point, what these charges were, and what this means that we're seeing this again.
This indictment was based on the alleged interference with the election and the certification of votes. Normally, when you get a superseding indictment as a criminal defense attorney, it strikes fear into your heart because normally the government has found more evidence against your client and they're dumping it into a new indictment. That's not what's happened here. In fact, if anything, the indictment is pared down. It's shortened several pages and many allegations are removed. I can't think of another instance where this has happened in my career or to anyone that I know about, because that's not normally what the government does. Normally, they overload with evidence. They don't reduce it. But because of the Supreme Court's immunity decision, the Jack Smith's team realized that they had to remove, in order to strategically try to move this case forward, take out everything that would have been objectionable. For example, the Supreme Court explicitly said that not only was talking to the DOJ about the election part of Trump's core presidential powers and therefore immune, but that evidence of this couldn't even come in. So Jack Smith's team took a look at it and they removed everything that had to do with talking to the DOJ. But there are signs that Jack Smith's team still feels aggressive, still feels confident, because they left in allegations about Mike Pence. And that could go either way. That could be presumptively immune, talking to Mike Pence, or the argument might be that, well, he was acting that day as a part of the legislature in his role as the vice president. This may be something that can stay in the indictment. So this is really a strategic maneuver. All 4 counts still in the case.
So now that we have this superseding indictment, what happens next? Will the former president have to appear in court at some point? How does a process like this move forward?
Ordinarily, the defendant has to come back and get arraigned again. I've had this come up, too, where an indictment is superseded several times. You have to keep marching back into court and get arraigned. Jack Smith's team is indicating that they're not going to require his physical presence. But, yes, you do have to arraign again after every superseding indictment. It's really just a formality hopefully the case will move forward. And ideally, I think Jack Smith is thinking that this will reduce the time. If there has to be an evidentiary hearing on what is and what is not presidential conduct, this reduces the complexity and makes it easier for the case to move forward. It may ultimately just be a philosophical discussion, because whether it's the superseding indictment or the indictment of 2 days ago, it really doesn't matter. If Trump is elected and inaugurated, he makes all federal cases against him go away. And really, technically, there's only one remaining against him.
But the odds of a hearing like that happening before the election, are they pretty slim at this point?
In theory, it could happen, but it really wouldn't make that much of a difference to the ultimate choice of guilt or not guilt, because that would only be one stage. There will still be all kinds of motions, appeals, things that will delay this case till well after the election.
And Danny, for people who hear, though, that, oh, we could speed it up, and we continue to hear about legal issues, maybe ones that raise their head again for the former president, he can continue running this presidential campaign right alongside any of these issues.
You mean while he's being indicted?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Really, the superseding indictment is technically still the original indictment. Like I said, ordinarily, it's more bad things that a defendant has done. It's usually not less bad things. And this superseding indictment adds not one new criminal charge. Jack Smith's team is making a statement. They're saying, we still believe he is guilty of each and every one of these 4 counts. We're just changing around and reducing the amount of evidence that we're relying on. We're that confident in this indictment that we can remove stuff and continue to go forward with it.
Danny Savalas, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
We're learning new details about the rescue of a hostage from Gaza. Kayed Farhan El-Qadi spent more than 10 months in captivity before he was freed yesterday.
Yeah, these are some of the images released by Israeli Defense Forces following the rescue. Officials say he was found in the underground tunnel system used by Hamas during what they are calling a complex mission. El-Qadi is one of only 8 hostages rescued and returned alive in a military operation since the war began. According to Israel, he is the first to be found underground.
NBC News international correspondent Megan Fitzgerald joins us now from our London bureau with the latest. Megan, good morning. So what details are we learning about just how this rescue operation unfolded?
Guys, good morning. Well, the IDF isn't saying much about their operation, in part because of the safety concerns for other hostages. But it looks like this was a very complex operation that took place in Hamas's vast underground tunnels. And it was a mission led by intelligence. It unfolded in the southern part of the enclave. We do know that El-Qadi was found alone. And in fact, he spoke with Israel's President Herzog, describing the moments he was about to be rescued. He said he started to hear people speaking Hebrew outside of the door, and he just couldn't believe it. The Hostage Family Forum is calling his return nothing short of miraculous. Guys.
Do we know how he's doing since being rescued? And in that video, it looks like at least he's on the phone, but has he been reunited with family?
Well, so doctors say he appears to be in good condition. We know he was taken to the hospital to undergo medical checks. And in fact, our colleague Matt Bradley just spoke with one of his family members who says the family, including his children and his brother, arrived at the hospital yesterday and today to see him. The family says that they've been told by doctors that he should be able to be released sometime this afternoon and then return home. They say he lost about 55 pounds in captivity from not eating properly, but he certainly seems to be in good spirits. You see him there talking on the phone to family. But we're talking after more than 300 days in captivity. His family, of course, is absolutely elated that he's safely back in Israel.
And that will be an incredible reunion when he does start to meet up with some of those family members he hasn't seen in nearly a year. Still, Megan, more than 100 hostages are being held by Hamas in Gaza. The rescue of this hostage does appear to be putting even more pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu to try and finalize a ceasefire and a hostage release deal. Where do things stand with that process? Have we heard from Netanyahu since this rescue yesterday?
Joe, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's an incredible amount of pressure being placed on Netanyahu to reach a deal and get those hostages home. But so far, no deal yet. And at this point, there haven't been significant developments on negotiations so far this week. But we do know that high-level talks continue in Cairo. They're ongoing. President Biden's top Middle East advisor held talks in Doha with senior Qatari leaders to try and tie up these negotiations. Those talks were expected to continue today in Doha. But again, so far, no indication that a deal is imminent.
All right.
Joe,
Megan Fitzgerald with the latest. Megan, thank you so much.
This morning, Wall Street is waiting for one of tech's most highly anticipated quarterly earnings reports. It's from NVIDIA, which is one of the biggest suppliers of artificial intelligence.
Several industry experts are expecting another blockbuster report from the AI darling during a week when tech stocks overall have struggled. Now, it comes after the Dow closed at an all-time high on Monday, which lowered some fears of a recession.
We have editor-in-chief of Investopedia and friend of the show, Caleb Silver, here to break down what this all means. Caleb, good morning. Let's start with the stock market here, because it's a big deal, record broken, but actually only up 0.2%. Put that in context for us.
Yeah, what's important to know is we have momentum and we keep making higher highs across the market right now. So the Dow is the big symbol, right? The Dow 30, that's only 30 stocks. But when you look across the rest of the stock market, the S&P 500 and the S&P 500 equal weighted, that is also nearing record highs as well. Momentum begets momentum. And as these interest rates are going to go lower, and we know that's going to happen starting in September, then you know the stock market's probably going to keep rallying because lower interest rates feed companies' bottom lines.
Well, you mentioned that people are eager for this new earnings report from NVIDIA. Why so much attention on NVIDIA right now?
You've heard NVIDIA called the most important stock in the stock market right now. It's worth $3.1 trillion. That's more than the GDP of most countries. Why? Because it makes chips for AI. It makes chips for gaming. It makes chips for crypto mining. It is a big chip maker, and it has driven gains this year up 160+%, and it is a large part of everyone's portfolio. Your viewers may not think they have it in their portfolio. It's a big part of every index fund right now. So as it goes, and as these big tech stocks go, so goes the rest of the stock market.
Let's talk about a potential interest rate cut here. Why is it that we think that that potential is likely?
Oh, we heard it from the mountaintop last week. Jerome Powell at the Fed's retreat in Wyoming saying the time has come for interest rates to adjust, and that means adjust lower, and that means that's starting in September. September 18th is that meeting, but we're probably going to see lower interest rates through next year. So the regime of high interest rates to combat inflation, that's over. Rates are coming down. That helps mortgages. That helps credit card APRs. That is super useful.
Yeah, once we see this cut, how quickly will people see relief? And I realize it's different in different areas of their finances.
Yeah,
right?
so take the 30-year mortgage. That's already come down from 7.5% to 6.5%. Credit card APRs still up around 24%. Those will start to lower as well. You start to see a lot of offers in your emails for lower rate credit cards, consolidate your balance. That's going to be useful as well. But also new car loans. Everything you borrow money for is going to get cheaper. And cheaper money is also helpful for companies that borrow it to expand, to hire more people, to pay us more.
Before we let you go, we hear congratulations are in order here.
Thank you.
Investopedia's 25th anniversary this week?
Yeah, 25th anniversary. 25 years on the internet, guys. That's like 250 years in real life. There we are ringing the closing bell at the NASDAQ yesterday. What an honor.
That is so cool.
It is so cool. There's my team right there. We are really, really proud to be on and around for 25 years. We're going to be around another 25 years, and it's just an honor to be the editor-in-chief.
I mean, you only look 18, so that's great that you're 25.
I know. Forever in blue jeans.
It's moisturizing and all that
And on
good
a
stuff.
longboard. Caleb Silver,
Congrats.
thank you so much. Well, SpaceX has once again postponed the launch of its mission featuring a historic all-civilian spacewalk. This time, the postponement is due to unfavorable weather conditions. It was supposed to launch earlier this morning. A new liftoff date has not been announced yet, but the company confirmed on X that it won't be earlier than Friday. This is the second time this mission, it's called Polaris Dawn, has been delayed this week. The discovery of a helium leak prevented the original launch on Tuesday.
Speaking of the weather, let's get to your forecast. Another day of active weather across much of the country, including a chance for severe storms and a summertime cold front. That sounds nice.
That sounds welcome in most places. Angie Lastman is here and tracking all that. Good morning, Angie.
Good morning, guys. It is definitely welcome, especially across the Midwest. We had places that were feeling over 110 yesterday. So that is going to bring some relief, but it's also bringing, you guessed it, some rain. It was active across this area yesterday, places across the state of Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, dealing with thunderstorms yesterday. And we're still seeing some of that rain kind of draped across that same area. Notice the thunderstorms in southern portions of Illinois, back into portions of Missouri as well. And we're going to remain unsettled here through the day today. We're just going to kind of shift the biggest threat for severe weather a little farther to the east, and that's going to extend mostly from Ohio out towards the coast. You'll see Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh, Columbus all included in that. And our main concern is going to be the wind gusts. So over 60-mile-per-hour gusts. We saw some wind damage yesterday across parts of the Great Lakes. We'll see kind of a potential for that same thing to develop as the day goes on. Hail also on the table. Tornadoes, not so much. That risk is going to remain fairly fairly low. And here's the front that I'm talking about. So as the afternoon goes on, notice this little batch of thunderstorms across parts of the Northeast. We've got some of that still for the Ohio Valley. So this is something we'll watch through today. But notice what happens as we get into tomorrow. The front slowly but surely moving to the east. We'll still have another round of rain across the mid-Atlantic and the upper Midwest. That's where we'll potentially be watching for some severe weather as well. So the rain, the thunderstorms, that's on the table, but so is that heat. And I know a whole lot of people were dealing with it yesterday. We're seeing less as far as our heat alerts in effect right now as compared to yesterday, but still more than 50 million people, and they include major cities of St. Louis, Indianapolis, of course, New York, stretching down to Washington, D.C. And these are some of the places that are going to see temperatures well above normal. But we've got kind of a tale of two temperature stories. So to the south of that cold front, high pressure is in hold. That means that we're dragging in all that humid air from the south. We've got plenty of it to tap into. So 90s in triple digits for what it feels like. That's going to be common across this region. Charleston feels like 101 later today, 104 for what it'll feel like in Washington, D.C. this afternoon. And this stretches all the way to basically St. Louis, down through Memphis and out east. This is going to be what we see across this region, at least for the next couple of days. And we'll have the potential to break some record highs, again, across that same region, including in Washington, D.C. today. Now, to the north of the front, we've got a high pressure that's circulating some of that cooler air, more mild conditions across parts of the north. This is going to make a big difference, not so much for a big chunk of the area that was dealing with triple-digit feels like yesterday, but you can see we've already seen a big difference in what we'll deal with for our afternoon temperatures in places like Chicago today. So it's still going to be warm. It's still going to be 86 degrees in Chicago for your high, but we're talking about a 14-degree temperature drop from yesterday's high. So it's an improvement, and your humidity levels will be different too. You'll notice that for sure. Detroit, similar story for you. A little cooler in places like Green Bay. You'll only top out into the low 70s. Syracuse, mid-70s. So we're starting to get a bit of an improvement for the more mild conditions. And then it really settles in for a lot of the Northeast. Unfortunately, if you live south of, say, Pittsburgh, temperatures are still going to be on the warm side. But New York ends up into the upper 70s for Thursday and Friday. We get back to the 80s in time for the weekend. Boston, you're even cooler for Thursday and Friday, into the low 70s. So not a major cool down, but it'll feel a little bit better. Detroit, you return to the upper 80s by Friday. So it's a little bit of a temperature roller coaster, guys. And looking ahead to this holiday weekend, of course, we'll be tracking all that, the strong storms that work into the Northeast just in time for Saturday and Sunday. Those will be draped across the south.
We just want to get through today.
Yeah. Me too.
You're in New York.
But we don't want those Labor Day weekend storms either, though. Yeah. All right, Angie, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.